All right, day one of testing the compass frames. So we've been working on this for about a year. The goal was, how do you make a big wheel frame for UFS boots that anybody could skate and enjoy skating around their city with some not super supportive boots. So we tested a bunch of different sizes of UFS frames. There's a bunch on the market. We realized really quickly that the bigger you get, the more slop and the more support you need. So we decided 2 frames, 72 millimeter, 80 millimeter. Those are the 2 sweet spots. So today I'm going to be skating the Adapt Stealth. The Adapt is a carbon shell. It gives me a lot of support. And with that support, I'm going to be skating the 80 millimeter frame. I think the 80s are a little bit taller, so you're going to need a little bit more support. But it should be a really great ride. Dylan is going to be skating the 72s on some Them 908s, which I actually enjoyed for big wheels, but the consensus is that they're a fairly sloppy skate. So we're going to see what they're like and just skate around the city and see what kind of trouble we can get into. All right, so far so good. They're not designed for skate park. Just to be clear, this isn't where you should be skating them. But they sure are fun. They do have a protected axles, so the frame walls come out a little bit. There's a taper, which will protect the axles from rubbing. They're also made out of the same glass-filled nylon solution formula that we use for the 50-50 balance frames. So they slide like you would expect them to slide, but they're not designed for sliding. So no groove tricks. Yeah, you could do whatever you want, but they're not designed for groove tricks. They're designed for the occasional Machio or like a drag trick, like a Mizu or something like that. But they definitely slide great. All right, enough of the skate park. We're gonna go play around downtown.
I'll follow you. I don't know which way I'm going. There's really everything here for big wheels. Yeah. Yeah, they slide almost uncontrollably fast. Yeah, it's great.
These ledges are old and extremely round, but they slide great. Again, this isn't really an aggressive frame. When you jump on, you can hear that sound. Normally when you skate like balance frames or something else, it's a very solid sound. This is a very hollow sounding sound because there's not a lot of internal structure. It's not designed for this, but it works really well. So sliding is no problem. If you found a ledge that wasn't so chunky, I don't think you would have a problem locking on if you wanted to. Especially, a place like this, you could do flat ground stuff, you could do stair rides, you could do little wall rides and stuff. Just gives you different options. So if you're out skating with your family or friends and they're on big wheels, now you can be on big wheels but still do a little bit of aggressive stuff. that is the difference between 80s and 72s. These things are so much fun to skate. So the wheelbase is 260 millimeter, which means that they're not super long, they're not super short. For me, they're the perfect length. So I wear a size 44, my foot's 28.5 centimeters. And 260 is like in the middle of where a large frame would be and a small frame would be. The goal is, let's give people a frame that everybody can skate. You don't need, especially for something like this, you don't need a ton of different sizes. I think big wheeling is fun, but usually when you find big wheel frames, they're small. They're like 240, 3, or 250. We wanted to make sure that they were long enough so that when you're doing big speed, going downhill, you don't get the wobbles, you don't get the weirdness. When you land fakie, you don't get the I'm falling forward feeling. You've got a nice stable wheelbase. So 260 millimeter for both the 72 and the 80. Super, super solid feeling. All right, we're gonna do some slides, see how they hold up.
I haven't done parallel slides in a long time. Yeah, I'm probably not gonna be able to block any out. Yeah, yeah.
All right, no issues here. These things slide great. Good exposure as well, like with balance frames or usually thicker frames. You get down a little low and you start rubbing on the sidewall. Definitely no problems with that here. You can get down really low and get really low on your edges to do slides or deep turns or something like that, and not fear that you'll rub on the frames. You've got plenty of space. New wheels, so slides take a little bit of breaking in. Not going to do parallel slides today. I need to break them in and rotate them a couple of times, but felt good with the parallel or with the Magic slides. Nice and steady. I think that's the feeling that I get right now, is just a steady ride. Feels just stable. Like really good wheelbase. Don't feel like I'm going to clip when I do crossovers. Can really charge without any fear of losing control. So these frames, when do you get them? So they'll be available in November. We're going to do pre-orders in October. They are going to need to make a few little tweaks to the mold. This was the first first mold test. So there's always going to be little tweaks, but I'm hoping that we will have them middle to the end of November. We will do pre-orders in the middle of October. And yeah, I cannot wait to hear what you guys think of these. I think this is going to be a really fun way to skate, especially as we get a little older. Knees hurt a little bit more from aggressive. The passion of skating is not going anywhere. So reuse your old boots, however floppy they might be. Get yourself some compass frames and skate everywhere.